Hey friends, what's up? Welcome to a new episode of Is It My Team or Do I Suck? We are in Season 5. It is finally time for the two Lifeweaver viewers of mine with another insane amount of buffs, and we'll answer the question, is Lifeweaver finally useful? With Hawjob. Hawjob is currently sitting in Diamond 4 on all roles, and he thinks he belongs into Masters on Lifeweaver, and he says in his submission, I know you coach primarily DPS, I want your take on what I could have done here. Personally, I feel like I played like an Overwatch League player, but that's just me. Well, I mean, we'll go over Lifeweaver. I think we'll go over how Lifeweaver plays. A lot of people don't seem to understand what his role really is. His utility does not come from his abilities, but his main healing output, the left click. That's because left click now got buffed to 75 per full charge. It takes a tiny bit more than a second to fully charge, which makes, on paper, Lifeweaver the highest healing in the game, at least single target healing. You are here playing with an Ana on your team. Like, yeah, Ana has Sleep Dart and Anti, but with a support like Lifeweaver, I would rather play him in comps where you have like a Zenyatta as second support, where you focus on healing, and the second support focuses on cleansing, Kiriko for example, dealing damage, flanking, etc. But let's see how you do. Life Grip, another really defensive ability, and here, yeah, once your Ryan gets antied, you probably want to pull him out right away. If you look at your positioning here, right, you're not too far back, so if you pulled your Reinhardt right away, he would still be in front of you, and he would still be able to protect your team. The way you did it is fine, it's not the worst, right? You waited until he got low and then pulled him out, but you have to be very careful with Weaver. Not only when you pull, but also where you pull from. And here, you are very, very far back. You're taking away all the cover from the rest of your team. I don't mind the pull timing, but I do mind your positioning. You need to keep in mind where you're gonna pull towards. And here, you really wanna... In this situation, you really wanna look... Yeah. Here, you see your soldier being very far up front, right? And you are the person with the pull. You see everyone else is healthy. The soldier knows, hey, if my Weaver is on point with his pulls, I can take this risk. I can go around the corner and I can get a kill on the Tracer maybe. But you're not a reliable Lifeweaver, right? Like, at least not in this case. You see him yellow, which means he's already missing some health. Now is where I would really start to worry about him die. DPS or 200 HP targets die very fast, and you see everyone else is healthy. So here is already where you kind of want to peek around the corner, maybe drop down and pull the soldier back. But because you're not in his line of sight, right, you're missing the timing, right? You even see him run back. You see him panic, right? This is actually the last second where you are able to help him. But because you wait so long to actually peek him, he dies. Because you didn't cast it fast enough. And instead you pull your Ryan back. I'm not a Lifeweaver player myself, so I haven't changed these, but I know Lifeweaver players like to change with the life grip sensitivity. 100% means basically like a really big hitbox, right? So you can miss aim quite a lot and still pull them, which is good for newer players if you're not really confident with your aim, but a value around 50% is what I see a lot of people use, which means you are still pretty free on where to aim, but it doesn't pull the wrong person on accident like you just pulled your Ryan, right? Same goes for Healing Blossom, by the way. Alright. Overwatch League gameplay, I'm not quite sure so far. So you, Nano, you're Ryan. Okay, got the kill. Cleaned up. But again, yeah, wanna be worried about your teammates first and foremost, right? There's no shot you die. I would like for you to use your flowers more, right? You can either use it A, to save yourself, in case someone dives you, or you can use it kind of aggressively to where you go up and your Ryan can play aggressive because you can pocket him from above, or you put the flower down for someone like your soldier, right? Only thing you have to be really worried about is that Tracer, and he hasn't really shown yet that he can kill you. He hasn't even gotten into you or harassed you yet. So if you play with your Ana, you should be completely fine, especially with the buffs to Thorn Volley. You can hold your own, so I would try to use my pedal platform more often and more aggressively. You know your Rhino has Shatter, so I get why you're hesitating with the pull, but you have to be decisive. And as soon as you see that anti come in here, I would pull back to make sure the Rhino doesn't die, right? I know you still kept him alive here. What happened now is he's won and you still have to heal him back up. If you pulled him out right away when he got antied, that wouldn't have happened. Holy shit, I'm a support genius. Hey, my support is actually GM. I only played support like once. Okay, in Overwatch 2, but it is GM level. At least my Moira, okay? Wait till you see me on my bike. Alright, so you have the tree of... I don't know what just happened, and I don't know why I'm spectating the Rhine instead of you. Going full, Tree of Life. Not a great ult still. It doesn't heal a lot. It's fine to play Van Cover, but it's one of the weak ults in the game. Alright. I like what you did there. I like that you swapped to the secondary fire mode to get the kills on the Shatter, because you realize your team is kind of dead, and now you really want to try to keep your team up. And here is, are you gonna stay alive? No. Honestly, not a bad attempt with the flower to keep him up. I don't mind this, but you did waste your shift for no reason. Your shift is the one thing that can heal you if you don't have your flower up, and you just use your flower. And you see the Tracer harassing you, right? But he didn't hit you yet, and you shifted to your left with like literally full HP. Right, for no reason. Might not seem like it matters, but it does. You see how you're now dead because you didn't have shift up? After he puts you to half, you could have shifted and then been fine after. I don't think Lifeweaver is the best support yet, and if you want to make him work, which I think you can now, he's not completely unplayable anymore, but you gotta play the game really well, right? Like, you're so focused on keeping your tank up that you're ignoring everyone else on the team, right? And that is fine, as long as you're the main healer. You have another main healer. And there are other people on your team. One of them is critical, the other one has to run to medkits to get there. And all that time, they cannot peek out, is time lost for your team. So it doesn't matter how much you heal your tank, eventually you're gonna lose the poke war, right? And they're gonna win. And you could have definitely used that flower to flower up here and heal your Hanzo, right? When I notice in my games that I'm not getting punished, I take more risks until it doesn't work anymore. And eventually you will get punished. But you have to understand, the more aggressive you play, if you don't get punished, the more value you get. Instead of always playing super safe and like, oh, I'm a support, right? And yeah, your Hanzo ends up dying because he just didn't get healing. Because both you and your Ana are just sitting in main supporting your Reinhardt. And then the Rein dies to pulse, which I think you could have pulled. No. You have it up. It's here. I see it. Overwatch League gameplay, huh? And this is where you can kind of move up? Huh? The hell? Broken flower? It's an interesting play. Like, if they don't expect the Rein to be up there, it can work. But they probably just saw him. Yep. He's definitely being shot. And now, see, again, you have your next flower up in a second. You know, it's up again. That's what I'm saying. And here comes the issue. You're making like all the mistakes I would want to avoid on Weaver. Where you are and you place the flower, what's gonna happen is you're gonna go up 1 meter and like bump into the ceiling. Whereas if you're here, or if you're here, if you flower, you can just chill, right? And then after the flower runs out, you can just jump to high ground. And that would have probably saved you and your Rein here. And again, like, why don't you use pull? I know that he's anti and he's gonna stay anti. But during that pull animation, he's gonna stay invulnerable. It is like a second that goes away from the anti-timer. So there is a good chance that after the pull, he still lives the primary fire. It's actually quite okay now. It's not amazing, but it's good to see it. I'm upset. You don't have pull, but you have flower. Flower him. Put a flower in him.
What?
The only time your Rein ever died is when he got antied and you didn't pull him back. The Rein almost never dies. Like, you either lost the fights due to a nice pull. There we go. Huge. That was really good. And you see how much you can do from high ground? But again, there is a free high ground on a button of yours, right? That you can take almost always. And I really wish you would use it more. Okay. You have the tree. And you can definitely, I would honestly, you don't have to think about tree as like a healing mechanism, more of a body block mechanism. Kiriko ult, immediately, and nano. If you put the flower right here in front of the Sigma, right? What's gonna happen? They can't use their Kiriko ult. Because a tree, it blocks the way off completely. None of their players can shoot you. Their Kiriko ult is completely wasted. And the Nano Sigma can't do anything too. The value that Tree can provide from body blocking or blocking people in and out is way more than the value that it can provide healing wise, right? I mean, you use it eventually. It was a good save. It was a close call, but it was a good save in the end, so there's more you can do, even on a character like Weaver. Don't step into the trap. Yana took it. Nice pick by your Hanzo. Okay, let's see what's gonna happen here. You're up 1. All you have to do is play safe right now, like you've done the entire game. Instead, you flower up into their face. And then you keep on running in the open. Your character has a pretty big hitbox. You could have still been fine if you walked back into this choke, right? And then the Bastion can't hit you. But instead, you just Keep on walking.
Life protects life.
Okay, not an awful tree, but it's gone because they used window with a bastion. Good pull! Save. Now all you have to do is play... Save. You walk the f in. Walk in with your team. Walk in. Use the flower. Or something. Do something.
Mac and cheese sounds good right about now.
Okay. Good position for you. Good spot. As long as your Junkrat doesn't die here. Can pull... I would have almost tried to pull him there, honestly. Like, there was a really high risk he's dying, right? And if you pull him up to here, then you have a high ground junk. Like, you're actually giving your DPS a better spot too. I don't think it matters much as long as they stay alive here.
Life protects
Okay.
life.
It was a good spot to trade, but I think I would have put it here, right? Or like at least in between your Ramatra and their Sigma. The radius of the tree is really big. But if you put it here, you stop their Bastion and their junk from shooting you. And your Ramatra can still 1v1 the Sigma, right? And close range, the Ramatra wins against the Sigma. But this way, you're kind of creating more of a safety angle for the enemy instead of yourself. Well, team runs in, the Hanzo dies.
Oh my god. Oh, hell no, man.
You hear the tire. Yeah, your priority should be immediately to make sure that your squishies don't die, right? Your ram probably is not going to die to the tire. You immediately want to dash or flower up and like try to pull someone, right? Like you want to try to save at least one person. Not saying this would have worked 100%, but it's worth the attempt, always, right? The fight is still winnable here. There's no reason for you to jump down. Pocket your ram from up here. You are in range, right? In fact, you're healing him right now. And he will probably kill the Baptiste. And he will then probably end up killing the Junkrat. He is ult on still. As long as you stay alive, you will probably win the fight. Even if it gets like close to him dying, you still have to pull him back. But instead you jump down into a Sigma. An old grumpy man. Like the guy is a maniac and he one-shots you. Because tank is OP. And also there's a Moira shifting in. So you jump down and then you lift yourself up but lift the Sigma up with you and you die. Probably not much you could have done, but this was the fight you could have carried. After playing super safe the entire game, you decide to turn your brain off and just run it down mid. And I mean, now it's last fight territory. You have Nano. It started off so well. I mean, I can't fully blame you for that. It looked scary. Oh my god, Weaver is a character. Bro, like, hold him back with the Nano. How are you losing this? Your tank is alive, you win this, right? Surely. Surely. Honestly, this was a very insightful game. I actually really enjoyed watching this one. It was kind of cool. I don't think Weaver is an awful character anymore. Weaver is a character. I think he has some potential. That being said, he's not the greatest. But that being said, you're not the greatest. You're a diamond player. I like the way you play position-wise. On average, you play very safe. I think you should take more risks when you are not getting focused. And then you should also not take risks when you jump into it. Like, you shouldn't jump into a tank, obviously, right? You want to use your cooldowns more, even if it feels like they're not doing a lot. Paddle platform can give you very good positions to heal the entire team without being in danger. Think about what the enemy has that can kill you. Counter that and be a bit more proactive. The life grip can be a griefing ability, like we just saw in the last fight. But a lot of the time, I feel like you used it too late or you didn't look for it proactively enough. You need to do more than just healing, even though, yes, his main strength is his healing now. You're not a Masters player yet. I do think you played like a diamond at least. If you improve, you can get better. Until then, you suck. Until then. Contestant number 2 today, Giovanni on Zenyatta. He is currently in Silver 3, thinks he deserves Plat. I can guarantee that this is the most insane game you will ever watch, okay? I've seen a lot of games, man. I know I didn't play the role Zenyatta has, but since it turned into a Clown Fiesta, I just went with it. I had a lot of fun, so maybe it's nice for others to see that it is sometimes more important than focusing on all the mistakes made. I think every mistake that can be made by every hero is being shown here. Hope you enjoy. Interesting submission. I'm very curious. If this turns into a Clown Fiesta, I hope you at least win or show like some of your skills. I mean, you do think you deserve Plat while you're currently in Silver, right? Looking at the comp, you're playing Zen Mercy. Not the best heals overall. But yeah, I mean, let's see. I can tell this is a very interesting game already. So, thing with Zenyatta is, you know, he's actually just a DPS character. It's just that he is in the support role. I think when Blizzard created the character, they mixed it up. Like, they had originally designed him as a DPS, but then they were like, oh, we need more supports in the game. So they just moved him over to support, even though, you know. But yeah. I don't know, you seem to be very keen on just holding left click down at all times. Don't get me wrong, it is not bad to spam a choke, but here's what you have to understand, okay? You spamming into this corner here, it's not really gonna do much if they see you shooting over and over, right? Like, what? Like, nobody's gonna walk into that because they just see your shots being placed in the exact same spot over and over. If you want to go for those early pickoffs, you probably want to charge up your right click and predict when they're gonna come around the corner and then one tap them, right? If they react fast enough, A, they shouldn't even walk in. The higher you go in as R, the less this is gonna do. And B, even if they get hit, they will just back out and you will really not have gotten a kill, right? Not gonna... As long as you don't die, it's fine. Yeah, your Bastion dies because he was out of position. That was awful. Okay, you back out. You want to back out. Yeah, back out.
No.
No? Okay. Alright, going into... No, we're frontline Zenyatta-ing. You should have died there, 100%. You're lucky that the enemy team is also silver. Positioning is the #1 priority of Zenyatta, because you have no movement abilities, right? Every other support can get out in some way. Mercy can dash out, Lifeweaver can dash out, you know, like Kiriko can teleport, yada yada. On Zenyatta, if you're out of position, you die. You wanna be pretty far back. You have no damage fall off, you have a projectile. A lot of people still don't know this somehow, before we see this amazing trance. A lot of people don't know this somehow. Projectiles do not have damage fall off. So you do the exact same damage, no matter how far you are away. So on Zenyatta, it's a fast projectile. It's fine to be very far back. A general rule of thumb, if you're in front of your DPS, you are kind of throwing. If you're in front of your tank, you're hard throwing. Just for Zenyatta in general. So you trance for nothing. And then you run onto point that is already captured and you suicide. Alright, so you do take the high ground, you're very focused on the break, even though you should realize there's a... What the f*** am I watching? I mean, okay, he's dead. It worked, you kicked him over the railing. Yeah, we're back to frontlining. Into a Moira beam. It's actually a miracle you live there. But you are definitely too far forward. Again, none of your abilities have damage fall off, including your heal, right? It's not like your healing does less when you're further away. How the f is that Brig not killing you? I mean, you deserve to die there. You were out of position. And they captured second with 4 minutes. That's pretty bad, because, you know, capturing second on this map is really hard. At this point, it's time to, like, step back, you know? Have like a meeting with the team and go, team, regroup, go as 5. Because for the last 4 minutes, you've only been staggering. It's like, you walk in, you die, your team walks in, you die. You're still fighting, and I'm not gonna complain about you getting the... Listen, you are 1 meter away from spawn, they just captured. You can move the backward spawn option, right? Where you walk back into your spawn, and you click that button that says backward spawn. And then you spawn safe, and you will not stagger. There's no shot your team will live, right? Instead, you're just shooting, just holding down left click into the general direction of the opponent. And your team is staggering 1 by 1, right? And for every person that dies here, you have less time to defend because you need to regroup as 5. You're the only person alive. You have 2 options here. The safest option is actually to walk into them and die on card. That way you can guarantee at least 1 fight. Because the longer you stay alive while not touching card, the longer they're gonna move the payload. And if they move the payload to like over here, and then you die, you might not even be back for last fight. Option number 2 is to pop off, get a kill and then get out. In Plat you die instantly here. You're lucky that Brig walks into you alone and feeds like a dumbass. And now you walk backwards, and you jump down, and then there's a Bastion here to help you. And you may actually live. Because their Orisa is not forward. He's like walking backwards because he's scared. He only has 600 million HP. Very, very scary to die to no one. Instead, you re-peek, right? You're fine. They forgot you were there, to be honest. If you just chill in that corner, you probably live, right? Or dodge the damage orb and then jump down. Instead, you walk in again. And now you like literally lost your team another fight, technically. Okay, you have Transcendence, one of the best ults in the game. Surely it's gonna get some value.
I'm really feeling the heat.
You gotta stop with these random shots. If you're not even in line of sight of the enemy, what's the point of shooting? Like if you see like professional Zenyatta players like Overwatch League shoot around corners, almost always there is someone behind those corners. They don't just randomly shoot. It actually has a purpose. You're just shooting. Who are you gonna hit? Who are you gonna hit? Like that's fine, but then like what are these shots? You're just shooting. Alright. Orisa is going for you. You have trans if you need it. I don't think you do. So your Mercy comes to help you. What you do is you kick to have a distance between you and herself, and then you just headshot her. Like kicking over and over is actually not a super viable strat, because she can still shoot, right? If you look at this, after you kick her away, take the time to go for a headshot and she probably dies instead of running melee range into her again. The only reason you're taking so much damage is because you're running into her melee range. Like the funny thing is if you keep your distance, as long as the Mercy is on you, you probably won't die unless she spears you. Or spins into you and then spears you. But because you're in her ass, like she just spins you for free. Okay, you have trans, you need to touch with trans, you have 1 meter left. I think every mistake that can be made by every hero here is being shown here. So far, I only see you feeding, man. Maybe the other team is gonna start botting out as well. So you go top alone, which by the way, this is fucking horrible. Almost never do I see any team go top and win. Because this is such a tight corridor that if they have anything they can shoot down the corridor, like Junkrat or like Cassidy or like basically any character in the game, it is insanely hard to crack. By you flanking here, you also have no one on your team in line of sight, so you're also not healing anyone. So the only person that can keep your team up is the Mercy.
Oh, brother!
So this is just not a good play by you. Right? You realize it's a dumb idea. You back out. Good. And now you want to play cover. Instead of running in like Rambo. Like you see no one, so you just walk in. And then you get 2-tap. Like look at the movement. He's busy. And you walk up in a straight line. And just walk into his crosshair. You died first again, man. But it's okay, you had fun, right? Alright.
No, stop! What are you doing?
What
are you doing? What?
Listen, if you just want a frontline, dude, play f***ing tank, dude. This is fine, and then you back out. Get out, get out, get out. Walk back. You see him. Walk back. Walk back. Walk back. And you know what the one weakness of Zen is? He's really easy to hit. And as I said earlier, right? Positioning is important, but also cover, which is part of positioning, right? Play behind cover instead of just walking into the open. You're just playing like you're hoping that the enemy can't hit you. Which may work in silver, don't get me wrong, but like, bro. If you want to be in their face, Reaper is also a fine choice. There's a lot of high-ranked players that play Zenyatta and flank and make it work. But that's because the enemy doesn't know you're there and they charge up the shots. You don't make sounds, right? So it's really good to flank. And if they don't expect it, you can get a kill for free with an easy right click. Like, right there. There you go. After the team carried you and capped the point, you got a stagger kill. Congrats. So until you get the aim of a god, you do want to play cover. And even if you get the aim of a god, that means if you like high SR, that probably also means the enemy is pretty good at aiming. If you don't learn how to take cover, you will die over and over. And let me guess you die again. No? Actually, still alive somehow? Impressive. Another thing, which not the biggest deal, but your mouse control. It seems to me like you're shooting the left click like a hit scan ability, even though it's a projectile. I noticed this against the brick there, right? When she comes in, you're always directly on her. Like if I slow it down now, right? You see how you're like behind her and not in front of her? You're doing the reverse projectile. The crosshair wants to be on the right side, where she moves towards, and not the other way around. Not even close to trans yet. Missed the kick. If you hit the kick there, you hit the kick, now you back out. The brick has rally, right? You want to be away from her. The reason they added kick to Zenyatta is not so you can go in like Jackie Chan and kick them. If they push you, you kick them back so you can keep your distance. Zenyatta is a ranged character. You're not Doomfist. You're not Genji. Like, here you missed the first, but like, you kick him and then you walk forward. You're walking forward into him. Why? Walk backwards. And the second time you actually walk backwards, so you're lucky. You didn't die. He should have killed you. And you're back to frontlining. And this is like just awful. It's actually impressive to me that you're alive. Okay, I mean, let's look at the positives about you. For the first time ever, you're actually playing distance correctly. I wish you would take high ground there, if it's free. I take that back. You're back to front lining. Popping off though? What the f? If you get one more, I'll clap. Clapper. Okay, that counts. Good job. Even though you're on a suicide mission. Running into a spawn. And it worked. And you're still alive somehow. I was gonna say if you trans to get out, I'm gonna be so mad. Yeah, it's okay. He's having fun, guys. You do understand that Transcendence is one of the best ults in the game, right? It can save your team from basically anything. But you might capture, but not with time on the clock. Your Mei dies first. And again, instead of using the cover, you're just sitting in the open. And if you want to get into plat, this is not gonna fly, my guy. Here's cover, you can corner peek, right? Here's cover, you can corner peek, and you're just in the open. Any decent Cassidy just kills you here. You're just in the open. Still in the open. And you live with 1 HP again because he missed, because he's silver. But that's not on you playing well, that's on him playing badly. Okay. Oh my god, get me out. There's no way he kills you in time. Ult has a charge up bit, right? The longer you stay in the range, the more you are likely to die, right? Like, it takes like a second or two until she can release it and actually burst you down, even if you have HP. Okay? This is not gonna kill you for another second. And he's 1 HP, and he uses it instantly. The funny thing is, I don't think he would have died. So you trans into their spawn. Back to front lining. Duel of the gods.
Huh?
Who are you looking at? I gotta kill the junk that's coming back. I actually get him. During all this time you had no orb on anyone. And now I have to watch this game more. And me. Yeah, and the enemy is actually smart. They're taking off angles where they can punish you. And this is about the time where you want to back out. But you again got 1 HP away from dying. Or 1 shot away from dying. And your entire team is already crumbling. This is super sketch. This is like when you're playing Diablo 4 hardcore and you're just always 1 HP and you're like, ha, I'm getting away with it, guys. And then you die and everything is over. I know it's silver. I know this seemed pretty harsh. To be fair, you said you had fun and it's about the fun. To which I agree to an extent. If you play comp, I'm playing to win. If you want to play to have fun, play quick play. But if you actually think you deserve plat and you submitted this, right? You want to have tips, then you gotta step it up. Your aim was not awful for your rank, I think. It wasn't great, but like I think you can expect something like that from a silver, maybe gold even. Your trances were completely useless. You never had a single trance that actually saved anyone of your team. You died first multiple times. You really didn't take smart engagements ever. You didn't play cover and you didn't play your distance. This is like very basic stuff that you have to practice on Zenyatta if you want to climb. It's definitely not your team. You suck, get better until next time. See you guys, bye bye.